The sound of complaints. Do you ever meet someone, maybe a friend, a family member, or even a colleague? This person talks a lot. They talk about problems. They talk about things that are wrong in the world, in their life, or in their job. They complain, and they complain a lot. It is easy to listen to complaints. We all have bad days. We all get annoyed by traffic or a difficult boss or the weather. But some people, they seem to live in a world of constant dissatisfaction. They complain every morning. They complain every afternoon. They complain about everything. The problem is, they don't change anything. This is the big question. Why do some people complain so much, but never make a small change? It feels like a loop, a circle. They point out the broken thing, they say it is bad, and then they go back to living in the same way. The broken thing is still broken. Imagine a small garden. A person sees weeds growing everywhere. They shout, "These weeds are terrible! This garden is a mess! It is awful!" They complain about the weeds for a long time. But instead of picking up a small trowel and pulling one weed, they just keep shouting. The weeds grow bigger. The garden stays messy. This is what happens in life, too. People complain about their jobs. My boss is terrible. My job is boring. The salary is too low. They spend hours telling others how bad the situation is. They feel angry. They feel helpless. They feel like they are victims. But when someone asks, "What do you want to do about it?" or "What can you change?" they just say, "Nothing. It is just how it is." It is a very comfortable feeling, being a complainer. It is easy to point a finger. It is easy to say, "This is wrong." You do not have to do the hard work. You do not have to face the fear of trying something new. Complaining is a form of talking about the problem. It is a way to feel seen, even if no one truly helps them. Sometimes, people complain because they are scared. They are afraid to fail. If they try to change their life, maybe they will try to start a new business. Maybe they will apply for a better job. But what if they fail? What if they lose money? This fear is a big wall. The wall of fear keeps them safe in the complaining zone. In the complaining zone, they are always right. They are always noticing the unfairness. They don't have to risk anything. Think about relationships. A person might complain about their partner. "They never listen to me. They are always on their phone. They don't care about me." They feel sad and angry. They complain to their friends. But maybe, just maybe, they could try a small thing. They could try to sit down and talk calmly about how they feel, instead of just yelling about the phone. They could try to change their own reaction. But complaining is louder. It is easier. The cycle is powerful. Complaint leads to sadness. Sadness leads to more complaining. More complaining leads to feeling helpless. Feeling helpless makes change seem too big, too scary. It becomes a habit, a comfortable rut. To break this cycle, you need a small shift in thinking. You need to move from being a narrator of misery to being a character who takes action. It does not mean you must suddenly become happy. Life is not perfect. You must still acknowledge the problems. The weeds are still there. The traffic is still bad. The boss might still be difficult, but the difference is what you do after you see the problem. Instead of saying, "This is terrible," the action-oriented person asks, "What is one small thing I can do today?" Perhaps the problem is the messy garden. The complainer says, "This garden is a disaster." The changer says, "I will pull 5 weeds today." 5, not 100, just 5. Perhaps the problem is the difficult boss. The complainer says, "My boss is unfair and mean." The changer says, "I will prepare my ideas clearly for the next meeting, so my voice is stronger." These small acts are powerful. They are tiny seeds of change. They show the brain that action is possible. They prove that even when the big problem is still there, you are not trapped by it. It takes courage. It takes a little bit of bravery to stop pointing and start doing. It is the difference between being a critic and being a creator. So, the next time you hear a constant stream of complaints, remember the garden. Remember the fear. Remember the power of the small action. Sometimes, the biggest change starts not with a massive revolution, but with one tiny, quiet, intentional act. And that act is the key to unlocking a different kind of life. It is the moment the loop finally breaks.